Welcome back to Beyond the Uniform, the podcast where we talk about who you are outside of the jersey, outside of the game, and beyond the identity people see first. I'm your host, Mackenzie Jinks, and today we're talking about something that I think a lot of athletes struggle with: learning how to not only identify yourself with the sport that you play. Sports can become everything. Your schedule revolves around it, your friendships and every single day revolve around it. And sometimes your confidence starts to revolve around it too. And while passion and dedication are definitely amazing things, there's a difference between loving your sport and believing your sport is the only thing that makes you who you are. So today, I wanted to go ahead and share some of my biggest tips and tricks that have helped me and can hopefully help you too. So, tip one is separate what you do from what you are. The first thing that I learned is that your sport is something that you do. It is not your entire identity. It should not be the coolest thing about you. It can be a cool thing about you, but also what kind of person are you? What kind of people do you like? What kind of books do you like to read? Are you a fall person? Are you a winter person? Are you a spring person? Are you family oriented? These are things that are just surface level. Like a jersey is just what somebody sees. It's not who somebody absolutely is. Instead of saying, I'm only a soccer player or I'm only a runner, or for me, I was like, oh, I'm a cheerleader at UTSA. That was my main intro line. Think about all the other things that describe you. Maybe you're creative, funny, kind, determined, a great friend, a leader, a coach, or maybe someone who loves music, art, reading, or even helping people. And that's honestly one of the main things that helped me break free from that. And I was able to find myself in a completely new career field. I mean, that is just insane to me that I held myself back so much just because I only ever had one point of view of myself. And I think that if you know that that's not the truth as well, then that could help you, because I had no idea. And especially when I had to quit cheer, I especially had no idea. And I was just like, well, what now? What's cool about me now? What do I even do on the outside of this? Like, that was my entire life, but it's because I made it my entire life. So take it from me and make these tiny upgrades to how you introduce yourself to somebody and how you think about yourself. When sports have highs and lows, and trust me, they always will, you will still have other parts of yourself standing strong. That's going to take me to tip number 2, which is finding interest outside of athletics. Now, I get it, okay? The NFL, the NBA, there's multiple sports that you can go pro in. You can even go pro in cheer now. And if that's your goal, I'm all for it, obviously. I think dream big, work even harder. And I think that everything that you work for is absolutely attainable. Um, I just, I really think that there's more to life than, like I said, what you do every single day and have done. Obviously, yes, it makes you happy in a way, but finding things that make you happy outside of it are extremely important. If you're not a runner, go for a run. Maybe you like running, you have no idea. If you don't usually lift weights, go lift some weights outside of the natural training plan that you always have to obtain by. Like, do you like Pilates? Maybe actually, are you a yoga person? Like, what gets you excited? What do you want to be better at other than your main sport? One of the biggest mistakes that I feel is like the feeling of feeling guilty for enjoying things outside of your sport. And you're allowed to have hobbies. Read a freaking book, paint, start a small project, learn photography, journal, volunteer, try something completely random. You don't even know that you don't like these things especially running for me, that was just like such a huge outlet that I randomly came across. I was like, I want to get good at this. I honestly just saw girls on TikTok being so good at it. And I was like, are you kidding? Like, that's not a sport that you need to be talented for. That's a sport that you need to be dedicated for. And I think that us all being athletes here, we already are. So cross that off the list and dedicate yourself to something else on your own time. Something that makes you feel free and isn't something that you necessarily have to do good at. Like, you don't necessarily have to run a 7-minute mile, but you can get better and that can be your outlet. But having something outside of your sport isn't a distraction, it's balance. And it is so key. I feel like I should have taken the things outside of my sport more seriously. I obtained the knowledge of running. I obtained the knowledge of learning how to lift and go to the gym and all of these things, but I was never, and I mean never, consistent enough to get better at anything that it made me feel like I was not just ever a cheerleader and like cheerleading would be the only thing that I was ever good at because I never proved myself any different. So yeah, if you have the opportunity for that, I mean, even freaking reading a book for 20 minutes at night, and then you can call yourself a book reader. Like, there are just so many like hobbies. Maybe you like painting, maybe you like to freaking color. Like, get a coloring book. You never know what will bring you back to your basically your zen zone and just make you balanced so that you can do the 110% when it matters and not feel like a complete failure, because honestly that's how I felt. I just felt like such a failure and everything revolved around my sport. Tip 3: build relationships that are not only based on sports. Oh my gosh, how badly I wish I had taken my friendships that I had outside of sports. I've always been a person that got along with pretty much everyone. Like, that has just been, I mean, I don't want to say a flex, but like, that, not a flex. That's the wrong term, but that's been like such a blessing that I've been able to like meet people from all different backgrounds and like, I don't know, always find myself wanting to get along too, because I feel like there's this really weird thing that goes on within sports that makes them so cliquey to where it's like, cheer hates them and they hate cheer and this is, and I found it so, I had so much gratitude for putting myself out there and meeting new people and becoming a part of FCA. It was Fellowship of Christian Athletes. And I met volleyball players and all of these amazing people that so that's just one version, but that's really not exactly what I mean. That's definitely a good example, but outside of sports, meet somebody in class, like talk to people that, and I know that's harder said than done, to be honest, but I don't know. Honestly, start becoming more social if you can. If you find it in you, that is one of the best things I could possibly do was meet people outside of my sport. Do you know how alone I felt once I quit my sport? And this was not because my friends made me feel alone, but this was because I was not spending all hours of the day with my friends anymore. I was going from seeing them 5 hours every single day and 12 on some game days to being able to talk about, hey, what are we going to do tonight? Let's do something tomorrow. I'm coming over after this. Let's go get lunch in between practice and weights and all of these things, and just always being updated on their lives, to it becoming this kind of like grown-up relationship, obviously, where we have to actually call and text and set times to hang out because they're not always available because they're athletes. And so, yeah, sometimes all our conversations became, actually, I don't agree with that. But yeah, people just find people that remind you that your value isn't tied to your stats or your wins or anything like that. And just people that fill you up. You don't have to only be friends with athletes. I don't know where that came from. I don't know how that happened, but it did. I get it. We spend all day, every day with them, but don't let this close you off from meeting people in that lab and keeping in touch with them and maybe asking you to go get lunch or putting yourself out there and being like, let's go get some drinks or something like that. It's way more normal than I feel like we make it seem. My tip number 4 is remembering that your performance does not equal your worth. This one is huge. A bad game does not make you a bad person. One mistake does not define you. One season does not define you. Just like people will go into the transfer portal, go JUCO, ball out, and then go D1 again and literally go into the NFL. Like, I don't know what to tell you, but that's serious evidence right there. We can be so hard on ourselves because athletes are taught to chase perfection, but your worth was there before the sport, and I promise you it'll still be there after it. So if you're listening today and you've been feeling a lot of pressure or just really burnt out, or like your sport is becoming your entire world, I want you to remember this. You are more than a uniform, you are more than a title, and you are more than a performance. Your sport may be a part of your story, but it is not your whole story. Thank you for listening to Beyond the Uniform, and I will see you the next episode.